The original Metroid came out on August 6 in 1986 in Japan, and a year later it also came out in August in America. So today is basically the 25th anniversary over here, and they kind of celebrated last year to no fanfare. And it kind of disappoints me because while I'm not the most avid fan of Metroid, I appreciate it, and I think the fans of it really wanted something to celebrate, like a game collection or something, or just, you know, some kind of mention of the game itself. Like, that would have been nice for E3. Anyway, so going back to this game after having not played it probably since I was a kid, and I was never into the game that much as a kid either, it was kind of hard, and playing it again makes me realize, yeah, this game is pretty hard, and by today's standards, kind of archaic. But you know what? Back then, it was pretty innovative. It helped design a lot of games, like a recent Batman Arkham Asylum. Basically, it's the same exact idea, where there's a map, you unlock new areas by getting new items, and then so on and so forth. Castlevania basically retooled their franchise by basically copying Metroid, and actually, the term Metroidvania is used for some games that use this kind of complex nature of the design. So, what is Metroid? Well, Metroid are these weird jellyfish-like creatures where in the first game, bounty hunter Samus Aran goes out to stop these space pirates who are trying to harvest these Metroids for power, and essentially other bad stuff goes down and whatnot. And like I said, that's right, Samus Aran is actually a girl, and probably the biggest thing people remember from this game is that when she takes off her helmet at the end of the game, yeah, it's a girl. In that way, Nintendo is also very innovative because there weren't that many female protagonists, even though you couldn't really tell in the beginning, but still, it was a nice step. The game itself is actually kind of like an action platform. You start off in this cavern, you get this power called the Morph Ball that lets you go tiny and go through little crevices, and you got this basically like a Mega Man buster. And then you go throughout the level, and it's all just kind of one big interconnecting map, and if you die, you get a password to restart in certain points of the game. But later on, there are save points and stuff like that, which make things a hell of a lot easier. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty fun going through everything. You fight monsters, you fight bosses, get new items like long-range shots so that your blaster shoots more, or a free shot. There's even a power that lets you plant bombs when you are in that Morph Ball phase. And there's also a lot of secret little crevices to help you move forward and to also unlock upgrades and secrets and stuff like that. So while arcade, it's still fun to go back to, and while I didn't make it that far in my playthrough, I had some fun. 17 years later, Metroid would receive a remake on the Game Boy Advance called Metroid Zero Mission. Now, this is actually the first game I ever played and beat all the way through for the Metroid franchise, and I did that just a little bit earlier in the summer as part of my Blonded series. And it was pretty fun. I had a lot of fun with it. The redesigns from the original made it a lot more easier to get through, like the save points. Everything was more crisp and clean, kind of like the Super Metroid graphics, maybe a little bit more polished actually. The one problem I had with it was they added an extra portion at the end that was kind of like a stealth game that just really didn't work that well. It was kind of really hard, and I just didn't find it that engaging, and it kind of just added maybe an extra hour where there didn't really need to be one. But in all intents and purposes, this is probably the most perfect remake and reimagining I could ever hope for. It pretty much follows the same exact guidelines, but just everything more or so tweaked a little bit. It was one of the games that I was just astounded with, that I just could not put it down. I explored and said, well, you know, maybe this save point and then I'll stop, but I just want to keep on going and going and going. It's a short game, but definitely worth your time wherever you may find a copy. Last up, let's go back in time to 1994, where Super Metroid was released 7 years after the original. Now, this is a kind of complex tale that I want to try and put together. I started playing it a while ago when I first started college back in 2009, and I liked it, sure enough, yeah. Then I stopped for one reason or another, and then I came back to it this summer, and after playing Zero Mission, the astounding thing was this is actually almost like a remake of the original itself 7 years later. So it seems like there's actually two remakes of the game. One, Super Metroid, which is, it's a continuation of the story, sure, but you travel through same places again, you fight a lot of same bosses. It's very much the same, and I was actually very disappointed because people talk about this game like it's the Bible or something like that. It's very profound and beloved. Maybe if I didn't play Zero Mission, I would appreciate it more than I do, and I do appreciate it. It's still a gorgeous looking game, and it's still fun, but I was just kind of disappointed in the same way as well, especially because I was hoping for something more, like a new planet or something, but no, it's mostly the same. The real next step in the series wouldn't come later until we got to the GameCube, but that's for another story. But for now, I want to wish Metroid a happy anniversary, and hopefully we'll be hearing from Samus Aran soon.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.